Hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another video. This is a paid request, and for anyone that wants to request any type of videos, whether it be a topic, a review of a movie, a re-review of a movie, or a TV episode, video game playthrough for an hour or a full playthrough, tier list, a ranking, a movie news, video about an article, reaction commentary, whatever the case may be, feel free to send it. PayPal is the best way to do it. Do have a Cash App as well. All links are down below in the info box. I will get to it as soon as I can. Feel free, and for those who sent them, thank you. I really do appreciate it. And of course, as the title suggests, we are talking about Nosferatu, the paid request for today. I'll be blunt, I didn't like it. Could end the review there, but I won't. If you like the film, that is fine. I know a lot of people liked it. That's cool. It's doing well at the box office. Congrats. Horror is doing very, very well at the box office. Because Lawlade's made money. Alien Romulus made money. The Substance made money. Terrifier 3 made money. This is making money. Congrats. Cool. I love The Substance with Demi Moore. That's my favorite horror film of 2024. And A Violent Nature to be labeled slow. You'd be right, but I like the gimmick. I don't like the last 10 minutes, but I like the gimmick enough that I like the Violent Nature. What was that? Heretic with Hugh Grant. I liked most of it, but I thought the third act kind of fell off. So there are horror films of 2024 I like. This ain't one of them, because I thought this movie was boring as shit. And you may say this review's boring as shit, but at least won't be over 2 hours like this boring as shit movie. So yes, I thought this movie was boring as shit. Yes, I know it's a vampire movie that's trying to also be about how the vampire is a rapist and sexually assaulted this lady, and she's trying to deal with it, and about how a predator is going after women. I mean, to be fair, that's most vampires. Most vampire films, you could equate that, let's be honest. It's directed by Robert Eggers, which I'm not a fan of. I did not like The Witch. Might as well call that The Bitch. The Lighthouse, if you want to see Willem Dafoe, Green Goblin, jerk off, almost come on Batman's face through the grates. Ain't my time of day. Ain't my sonata that I want to sing to the fucking night of the creme de la creme of Willem Dafoe's cream trying to plant on Robert Pattinson's face. Ain't for me. If it's for you, good for you, buddy. Good. Ain't for me. Not for me. This movie is the same story you've seen multiple times. Not just because there's been other Nosferatu films, but also it's Dracula. That's what it is. It's Dracula. It's a story of Dracula told once again that, to be honest, at this point in time, it's one of those stories that does not need to be told again. I'm not going to apologize for that. We've had that story told so many fucking times that unless you really be unique and extreme and different about it, that ain't worth a pot to piss in to tell anymore. We've had Dracula with Bela Lugosi. Hell, before that we had Nosferatu in Germany in the 20s. It's a silent film, which I've seen, and I like the original Nosferatu. I do. I like silent films. I like the way they were done back in the day and what they had to do when they were not able to use sound. So what other aspects do they have to use to tell their story? And you know what? They told their story in 80 minutes. They didn't need over 2 hours like this film did to tell the same fucking story. There was also a 1979 film. Klaus Kinski was in it. I'm not big on that film, but I would probably rather watch that than this. Because Klaus Kinski is a weird, creepy motherfucker. And didn't have a truck driver, cum catcher, Snidely Whiplash mustache like this dipshit did. Bill Skarsgård. I'm tired of seeing him in movies. Did he take a break? I didn't even hate him in the Boy Kills World, but he didn't talk. The Crow and Pennywise and this movie. Did he take a break? And take your stupid looking fucking mustache with him. Well, it was that I don't give a fuck where that mustache is. I don't care if it was on a painting. I don't care if it was in a mural. I don't care if it's in someone's jawstrap. I don't care if he stuck it from his ass after flossing it and put it on there. I don't care where he got the mustache from. Fuck the mustache. Okay, mine's better, first off. Burt Reynolds and Tom Selleck wore that shit better. And I don't need fucking Orlot wearing a fucking mustache. They just go to have a CB radio where the convoy is. Trucking through the USA. Okay? He ain't Smokey. He ain't the fucking bandit. Fuck the mustache. It looks stupid and goofy as shit for your horror film. He's trying to be very serious, and then here's his mustache. Hope he got no fucking love juices on it. Because that shit's hard to clean up, I'll tell you that much. Don't need some fucking, fresh on the mustache. So is that gamey? Well, he's dead, so he probably used to be gamey, the dead fuck. But I like the original Nosferatu. The original Nosferatu was an unofficial adaptation of the Bram Stoker story. To the point that I believe the Stoker family still sued, and granted in Germany, yes, they took the story of Dracula, but they wanted to make it their own with their German, I don't want to say ancestry, but their culture. So we have the Dracula, but it's our German culture meshed in. So instead of Dracula, it's Count Orlok, and he looks different. Very unique design. That still works when you watch the original silent film. And you have a Van Helsing, but it's not really Van Helsing. You have a guy going up, and an estate needs to be sold, or bought, however you want to word it. Depending which version, if they try to do something different. Either selling it or buying it. Dracula, aka Count Orlok, is there. The guy cuts his thumb. Oh my god, he gets horny for the blood, wants to suck him and suck it. Wants to go, did his bitch, marry his bitch, drink his bitch, and gets burnt up, fucked up in the sunlight by the end of it. This is the Dracula story. I could watch Dracula Dead and Loving It. One of my favorite versions of that story, to believe it or not. And it's hilarious. But I liked it. And even at that time, Stoker, the estate, wanted to destroy Nosferatu and destroy all the films. Thankfully, they did not. Some survived, and then we got the Nosferatu that we have. And then years later, you got Dracula, Bela Lugosi, you had Christopher Lee, you had Frank Langella, and so on and so on and so forth and so forth. So this is the third time we've had a Nosferatu film. This is the umpteenth time we've had a Dracula film, which is pretty much the same story. And I'm sorry, the idea of going about the aspect of she is a victim of being assaulted and there's maybe a bit of guilt and shame, that's all fine and dandy in terms of a story, but that was not enough, in my opinion, to merit this film being made. Because I did not find Lily Rose Depp, the daughter of Johnny Depp, she was in Yoga Hosers, that piece of shit film. I didn't care about her character. I didn't care about her acting. Maybe she did what she could, but most of it was just having a seizure as if she's Hulk Hogan, ready to Hulk out. And literally there's a moment where she's hulking out and she's... I'm like, oh no, she don't do fucking lay drop on the vampire. I swear, take all the scenes where she's shivering, her eyes going back, or she tears her shirt open... Cue it with real, I am a real American. Dun, 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 dun. Take all those scenes, cue it up to that. I swear to God, you will get a laugh, even if you like the film. So Lily Rose Depp, sorry, her character, nothing about it I gave a shit about. This over 2-hour movie, that again is just an adaptation of Dracula, like back in the day with Nosferatu, the other two versions. It goes through, she's scared, she knows something's coming for her, something did come for her, we don't see all the gory details, but we realize, something happened where she prays, she's led, she has a seizure. Years later, her husband, played by Nicholas Hoult, who's going to be the new Lex Luthor in the new Superman movie, he goes over, it's Germany, 1838, goes to Orlok's castle, and again, all the stuff you've seen before. The guy coming in, the locals being a bit freaked out when the person at hand is mentioned. No, don't go over there. He freaks out. He has a nightmare. He goes over there. He cuts his hand. Oh my god. Feeds on him. You need to stay the fuck here. No, I'm not. I'm gonna get the fuck out. Goes for the bitch. And again, to me, it just wasn't enough intriguing things thrown in there to keep it interesting enough to make me go, wow, I get why they did this. I get why they adapted this again. I get it. No, I don't get it. And it was just a slog to sit through. The plot just seemed very typical, very by the numbers that you've seen many, many, many times before. If they do try to add stuff in there, it's stuff that I think came off more hokey than scary. Okay, you got the naked guy who kind of works for Orlok in a circle in his bare essentials of nothing around candles, hoping that candle doesn't get stuck in his ass. Nicholas Hoult, when he gets to the village, he has a dream of someone being staked, a mob staking someone. I don't remember if they ever said who that was staked. I guess the idea is that Nicholas Hoult saw that because he wakes up and there's blood on his shoes. He'd go to sell this estate to Orlok, and Orlok, like Bill Skarsgård, anytime he talks, it sounds like he's got fucking emphysema. Sounds like he took too much fucking smoking crack. Or a crack pipe. Maybe he needs some vape. Or he sounds like a fat man that ran a marathon and is on his last legs. The whole fucking time, that's what he sounds like. And then when you see him, I know people really scared. I'm scared of his mustache. Actually, I'm more disappointed because I think mine's a bit better. At least it works with the old beard. He should have just had the Chuck Norris look. Hell, have Chuck Norris play Orlok. That would have been more interested. Chuck Norris is back and he's pissed that he's Orlok. I'd actually be more into the film if it was Chuck Norris. Some talk happens that really are not any much of interesting conversations, in my opinion. When it cuts back to Lily Rose Depp, it's just her having a seizure, being scared, having a seizure. And it comes off more as a lame, generic possession movie. Many times. And there's been so many fucking possession films. So, really, Willem Dafoe might as well just played an exorcist. Just so, a lot of it just came off as just a typical generic possession movie. Really? Shitload of seizures she has. Be possessed and talking. Whatever the fuck. I've seen this so many goddamn times, it's tiresome at this point. Nicholas Hoult tries to kill Orlok with a pickaxe in his coffin. Orlok wakes up. Fucks his day up. Not only feeds on him, but it looks like ready to hump him. And it's like they're trying to infer, at least the idea, that biting someone is like sexually assaulting someone. So that's why he's on top of Nicholas Hoult, and it looked like he was ready to hump his ass. And then later on, when Hoult gets back to his wife, and she's like, what was the term? How you fell to his arms, swooning like a woman, like a swooning lily of a woman. Yeah, that's what we want. Vampires the gaping assholes all across the land. Might as well have been, but I mean, he's biting. I mean, that's inferred in a lot of vampire films in terms of how biting, there's a sexual nature, and that's why you even have women out there that get sexually aroused by vampires, which I don't get, but it ain't for me. And a lot of times a vampire, even, the original Fright Night and The Lost Boys, where there's a, sensual desire or a seductive nature. like Jason Patric and I forget her name, and The Lost Boy, Jamie Gertz, or when Jerry Dandridge is seducing Amanda, was it Bierce? I always forget her name. Amanda, the lead guy's girlfriend, Amy, seducing her and with the dance. That's always a thing in vampires. So you'd always infer it'd be a sexual assault of some time, biting someone without their permission, being a sensual, and they kind of riff like it's an orgasmic state. It's pain, but it's pleasure. This is nothing new, is what I'm getting at. So I don't know why people are making it seem like it's such a new fucking idea and such a novel concept. Hell, I liked it they did another, The Invisible Man, where it was pretty much single wife. Oh, can you imagine sleeping with the enemy with Julia Roberts, but the dude had an invisible suit? And it was about a woman that was probably assaulted some way, had this domineering boyfriend, this guy that wouldn't let her go. And I thought the shit in that, with it's a woman who's been victimized, it's a woman that's had this someone obsessing over her, wanting her, controlling her, and she's out of it, and she wants it to stop, and no one, well, I won't say no one believes her in this. Like, it takes a bit, of course, to figure out what's going on for some of these people, until they did with Willem Dafoe, who's pretty much Abraham Van Helsing, but they can't call it Van Helsing because it's the Nosferatu side, so whatever his character was in the original Nosferatu, I forget the character's name, but it's pretty much Van Helsing. Pretty much what it is. But yeah, I thought The Invisible Man a few years ago, which I liked, with Lee Winnell directing, I thought that was a pretty good film. I know people hate that one. Well, some did, but it was a huge hit when it came out. I thought that's a good movie. That did this shit a lot fucking better, I thought. A lot better. With the depth of a woman being victimized by a sexual predator, and then you have this kind of the suit sci-fi here horror aspect. So it is taking a monster from back in the day, the Invisible Man from the 30s or so, and then have this sexual predator vibe to it. It's nothing fucking new is what I'm getting at. And again, I think the Invisible Man was much more interesting. I thought it went at a better pace. I thought the lead character was a bit better, had a bit more well-rounded character to her. I thought I liked her performance a lot more. I thought a lot more interesting visual scenes, like the dinner scene where she's with like her sister, whatever, and oh shit, that's what happened. Oh shit, and then she's blamed for it, and you have some decent action in there in the third act. Much more satisfying ending. This, even the direction of the film, people harp on the direction of the movie in such accolade-ridden fashion. I thought the directing was I mean, if you want to see a Dracula film with fantastic direction, I think Francis Ford Coppola is a piece of shit person, because he is a piece of shit person. He's a piece of shit. But I will be honest, Bram Stoker's Dracula that he did is a wonderfully directed movie in terms of the look, in terms of the creativity of the shots, and the way certain camera movements, and how like Keanu Reeves is on a train, but then you have other stuff going on, and how a lot of good camera tricks in that. Not let alone special effects and makeup, and there's a lot of stuff to that movie. The costume design, I think that film, and that was 1992, miles better than anything in this movie. If you want to talk about Dracula adaptations, that are visually splendid. And again, for people to say you just don't want to give it a chance to be fair, I think Francis Ford Coppola, I think, is a piece of shit person. He's a way worse person than Robert Eggers. Robert Eggers, I mean, he just made some films I don't like. Francis Ford Coppola, he supported a pedo called Victor Salva. I told the kid who starred in one of Victor's films, "You're never going to work again. I'll make sure of that. You better shut up, kid." Because Victor Salva was his Francis Ford Coppola's film student, whatever the hell you want to call him. So Robert Eggers, as far as I know, hasn't done any of that stuff. So Coppola's a worse person, and yet I could give credit where I thought Bram Stoker's Dracula, I don't love the film, but I overall liked it for a lot of aspects. Anthony Hopkins and other stuff as well. This, Lily Rose Depp, she, I mean, other than seizing and doing a seizure and ready to do her Ultimate Warrior Hulk Hogan impression. Bill Skarsgård, right for the emphysema that kicked in. He's did some asthma, did one of those inhalers for you sorry ass. Nicholas Hoult, he's there. I mean, he's better than Keanu Reeves, but I mean, he's there. The look of the film, I mean, the shot where the shadow goes over the town, I'll give you that shot. That's really one of the only shots I can even think of that made me pause and go, oh. That was like the only one I could think of. The only one. No other shots. I mean, it's shot like any typical... This might as well be an A24 film, because it's shot like all those goddamn movies. And I hate those fucking movies. Horror, I should say. When they did step away from horror, and it's films like... Well, I didn't mind Heretic. So there you go. I didn't mind Heretic. But Uncut Gems and The Disaster Report, some other stuff, I liked. But anyway, going off tangent. Actually, I'm going all over the place, but let me stick to what happens in the film. Like I said, the husband goes to Orlok's castle. The villagers before warn him, they're scared of it. He dreams of someone stayed by a mob. He goes there, he cuts his thumb. Oh shit, he's horny for blood. Orlok is. Then tries to kill him. Miles will get buff fucked by Orlok. Feeds on him, looks like he's humping him. When Nicholas Hoult escapes, there's wolves. He jumps out the window. He's later found by some nuns. Nurse him back. He's like, I gotta get back because you don't take my woman. Bye, Felicia. Lily, back home, is having a lot of seizures. And Aaron Taylor Johnson, who I liked in Bullet Train. He was in Kraven the Hunter. He can't do anything about it, so he talks with Willem Dafoe, and Willem Dafoe, you don't want to trust him because he studies the occult. But Willem Dafoe, who does what he can, he's a good actor, but I mean, It's not going to be up there with my favorite Willem Dafoe performances. He does what he can. Like the Dracula stories and the Nosferatu stories, you have the bit with the boat coming along, people getting killed. They play a bit more of the plague, where there's rats and it brings this plague across the countryside. So this does bring a little bit of more of that into it, which not every Dracula version does that. But it's just kind of, okay, I can appreciate that, but I don't know, it was kind of there, and then it kind of felt like it was there in the background. Well, I mean, that's that fair. Other than like a side character, what happens to them, where you have a bit of necrophilia. But it becomes a state of affairs for our lead character. Spoilers. Eventually, Orlok finds the lady and says, two nights, you give me your hand in marriage, you become mine, or not only am I going to kill your husband, Nicholas Hoult, but I'm going to keep the town with this plague filtering everywhere, and everyone's going to die. So you want everyone to die, including your husband, or you don't marry me. What is it, bitch? So, eventually she's going to do a self-sacrifice. That's the thing, though, like, the whole thing with the plague, okay, interesting you put that in there with the rats, but, number one, what the fuck is Orlok going to do to stop the plague? I mean, even if she gets married, what's he going to do? Go up and find all the rats and eat up all the rats and collect them like Santa Claus collects presents? You mean, doesn't, or I should say the Grinch. Like, the Grinch stealing all the presents? Oh, who knows? Maybe Santa realized we're all fucked up. We're all on the shit list and collects all the presents back. That's why you don't find Santa Claus anymore. He realized everyone sucks. He stole everyone's presents, and now only the parents have to do it. But, like, the Grinch stealing the presents. Is that what Orlok's doing? He's going to steal all the fucking rats? I mean, I still don't get how they stopped the plague anyway. It's pretty much like you see Willem Dafoe deal with Nicholas Hoult. Needs to get Nicholas Hoult away because if Hoult knew that his wife was going to do a self-sacrifice, he would try to stop it. Willem Dafoe says, no, this is the only way that to kill a vampire. The only way to kill a vampire is by an innocent fair maiden, whatever. You part is like, who makes up these fucking rules? But I mean, I'm not going to get mad because vampires don't exist, so who knows? Maybe if a vampire's in the real world, maybe he dies if you fart in his face. Who fucking knows? Because vampires don't exist. If they do exist, then hell, anything could maybe kill them. Maybe if I piss on them, they go on fire. Who knows? Maybe there'll be another movie. They try all the garlic and shit. Nothing worse. What happens? A guy pisses his pants while the vampire has him. The piss comes down, lands on the vampire, and he bursts into flames. Like, oh. When they piss us off, we piss on them, and then they're pissed off, and then they die. Maybe that'll be my movie, maybe, if I fucking do that. I don't need a sword, I don't need a gun. I got the gun between my hands called my dick. Go aim it at your face, okay? Water sports? No. Sport of death. Death and taxes, and you burn up to fucking death. I don't know what the fuck I'm saying, but this is what you think about when you're bored out of your fucking mind. Your mind just wanders off the reservation. As mine does a lot in this fucking movie. And on a side note, people go, well, you just don't like it because you're stupid. No, I don't like it because it's boring as shit. And this is not for people who like the film. Like, okay, imagine this group who likes the film, right? That's cool. Nothing wrong with that. It's subjective. We all have different opinions. Again, this year alone, I liked The Substance. I liked In a Violent Nature. I liked Heretic. I even like B movies like Fraud Man. But that section who don't like it, and then they get pissy when other people don't like it. Just I saw him on a tangent. My friend Michael Keane, right? The Choice Voice. Great guy, great friend. He did a review. He was going, just saying his honest thoughts. And there's people down below. Well, of course it wasn't made for you. It was made for people with an IQ of 85 or above. And I'm like, oh, so not you. And one guy's like, this is a film that's not meant for the basketball demographic. I mean, what the... I think he was it's like the guy was trying to say it's not... This is a movie that doesn't have black people, and that's good. But he put it as basketball demographic. I'm like... White people, Asian people... All people play basketball, you dumb fuck. I mean, I didn't know what the fuck he was saying. Guy probably didn't know what the fuck he was typing. He was probably too stupid to type. But anyway, like, my friend got roasted by some people in the comments for no damn reason, just because you don't like the opinion. Well, I mean, just because you don't like a movie, and that's his opinion. Well, you probably don't like their opinion either. I don't blame him. And my friend Marco is watching. I type up, fuck yeah, or so. Well, YouTube might not. I don't know. He type whatever he wants. I think he was right. I'm trying to get back to Aaron Taylor Johnson talks to Willem Dafoe. Thomas is found by nuns. Thomas Hoult comes back. Oh yeah, the boat, dead bodies. They find one dead body, another one barfs. They're dying or getting sick. The boat comes in. The plague comes into the town. And there are times, like you said, it just becomes like an ordinary possession film. She's possessed. They try to figure out how to help her. She's having a seizure. Doing like Undertaker. Nicholas Hoult comes back to his wife. He's having nightmares. Orlok gives her the warning. And I guess because she's possessed by Orlok, or she's being a bitch, one or the two. Oh, how you fell into his arms as a swooning lily of a woman. Pretty much calling Nicholas Hoult a pussy. I'm like, what the fuck did you do, bitch? You didn't do shit either. But I'm guessing the point is like she's being possessed and stuff. But anyway. How about Carl, just going in, how about you just fuck both of them in the ass? How about that? Give new meaning to the term sucking. And that's when Lily's hulking up like Hulk Hogan pulls her shirt. Yeah, you know, rip them. Orlok finally does something after a long ass while, kills two kids, mostly off screen, kills Aaron Taylor Johnson's wife off screen. There's a funeral. That's where Lily Rose Depp gets the idea. Willem Dafoe says, go do it. I'll take your husband. We'll fuck off. I'll act as a diversion. And pretty much, oh yeah, the plague. They go to like a place and like they burn a couple stuff, and I guess the plague is okay now. I guess. I maybe the movie did explain. I didn't 100% understand the whole like how was Orlok going, like killing Orlok stop the plague, or they just burned some rats and stop the plague. I don't know. I don't fucking care, honestly. Oh, and the necrophilia. Aaron Taylor Johnson gets sick, so he decides to go to his wife's grave, lie on top of her, kiss her, and then he dies. I don't know if you get the idea he fucked her as well, but he did at least kiss her. I guess wanted his, or maybe wanted his dick wet one more time before he dies. And, well, I'm ready to be dead, and you are dead, so I'm close to dead, so I might as well. Do you imagine, like, if they go to heaven, like, his wife being like, really? Fuck me even when I was dead? You couldn't wait, like, 5 minutes? We could have had so much time in heaven fucking. Now, you just weird me out. So, let's take about, I don't know, let's say 50 years, and you go over there, and you think about what you did, okay? Because, I mean, I may love a woman, but I don't want her fucking my dead body. Because I'm not enjoying it, and you're doing all this selfishness, so piss off. So Orlok is seduced by Lily Rose Depp. He sucks on her. Like the ending of the other Nosferatus. The sun comes up, he looks over, he dies. Then the movie's over. And that's what I mean. It's just... It's not... Like I say, it's not just the third Nosferatu film, but it's the umpteenth Dracula film, which is the same fucking story, pretty much. At least 80% of the same fucking story. The 20%, I'll give you maybe a little bit more of the plagues. A little bit more of Nicholas Hoult having some nightmares. But it's the same fucking story told again and again and again. People say it's scary. I don't know what was scary about the film. What scenes were meant to be scary? A handful of times, Orlok comes in and bites someone. Very, 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 very few times. His design with the mustache is goofy. The mustache took any amount of creepiness out of it. Her going possessed half a dozen fucking times, got old quick. Have you seen any possession film? You've seen it. It's the same shit. Nothing that new, nothing that unique, nothing that different. If you want to see a horror movie where they want to take something from back in the day and turn to a take on sexual predatorness, I'd go watch The Invisible Man that came out a few years ago that I thought did a lot better. Had much more scenes that were impressive. And maybe go, ooh, shit. Like bits of the third act. Had a bit of that suspense of, is the person here in the room? Are they not in the room? Is she seeing things? Is she going crazy? I got more pulled into the story than this, where you're just waiting for Orlok to get to the bitch as she's just going more and more possessed. I'm sorry, she didn't seem that interesting of a character. You barely know anything about her other than she's praying. You don't really even know why she's praying at the beginning so much. I mean, she says, I need to escape, blah, 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 but then Orlok comes to her, but like, you don't really get to know much about her as a character. Her backstory, what really makes her tick, other than Orlok's coming to get her. So I don't get this, how it's such an empowering movie for the lady. I guess her self-sacrifice at the end, I guess. I guess you could say that's empowered, sure. Cool story, bro. Aaron Taylor Johnson, anybody could have played that role. Nicholas Hoult, anybody could have played that role. Could give or take. And it just did not need to be over 2 hours long. Again, why is it the original film was 80 minutes long, but they put this over 2 hours? It was slow, it was dull, it was boring. Like this review. At least this, again, won't be over 2 hours like that fucking piece of shit. And yes, I do call it a piece of shit, because I never want to see it again. I'll go watch the original Nosferatu. I'll go watch Dracula, Bela Lugosi, Horror of Dracula, Christopher Lee, Fright Night, The Lost Boys, Near Dark. Plenty of fucking From Dusk Till Dawn. There's plenty of vampire films out there. They're either more fun, more entertaining, more interesting, less boring, better paced. Again, I'd go watch The Invisible Man. If I want to talk about someone with a depth to it, The Substance. The Substance was... That's the funny thing. The Substance was longer, I think, than this movie, but that felt faster. And that tells you, The Substance, I think it was like 2 hours and 20 minutes or so. But yeah, think about it was longer than this. And that went faster, and that had depth about ageism and perhaps a bit of addiction, perhaps about how you keep wanting your 15 minutes of fame, and even though the 15 minutes are up, you still want an extra 5 minutes, and the dangers of that, where Demi Moore keeps pushing and pushing and pushing it until it just sadly, tragically falters her entire existence, and how you just can't let things go. Some people just can't let things go, no matter how dire the circumstances are. And they feel like they have to because they're grown old, and they feel like they have to be in the limelight in some way, and even a tiny bit. See, I did go with a depth of The Substance, but I think for me, it's much more interesting to go into that aspect. It felt more unique. It felt more different. It felt more exciting. And I thought it was much more splendidly directed and visually interesting with the edits that are like Requiem for a Dream. Here, the direction, take or leave it. It was just dreary and dull and fucking boring. I was sometimes laughing at her performance of, laughing at his fucking cum catcher mustache, Snidely Whiplash shit. Yeah, I just didn't give a fuck. Sorry, but not sorry. So yeah, fuck this movie. Stick it in its ass. If you like the film, that's fine. My friend Michael also didn't deserve some of that shit. He just gave his honest opinion. If you like the film, that's fine. But if you're someone who likes the film and want to judge other people, go fuck yourself. How about them apples, okay? People can like and hate whatever the fuck they want. You hate everything, but then I name like 10 films that I like. And he and everybody else can name 10, 15, 20 films of each year they like. So obviously they don't hate everything. So wham, wham, wham. Cry back to mama. The film sucks, in my opinion. I don't get the hype. Love it if you want.